The market has been quite mixed the last week. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, they all went sideways, but Moodeng went up more than 20%. The question is why? Who is buying here? Who is selling here? Let's have a look at the on-chain data. Let's try to figure out who's actually driving the price and whether or not this current rally can last. So this is the situation. We are almost at 18 cents. We are up 22%, and this is the long-term chart of Moodeng relative to Solana. So Moodeng is listed on the Solana chain. We had our impressive rallies of more than 1,000%, but also our not so pretty declines of more than 90%. Now, there seems to be somewhat of a trading range here, and we are rather on the upper end of that range. However, there still seems to be quite some upside potential because the market cap relative to other comparable tokens isn't yet that large. Moodeng is the third largest Pump.Fun ecosystem token. Now, Pump.Fun is the Memecoin launchpad on the Solana chain, and Moodeng now has a market cap of 178 million. The largest of those kind of tokens is Fartcoin, and that's roughly 6 times the size. Now, this is not the first video on Moodeng on this channel. I've published several beforehand. And the very first video did outperform the average video on this channel. The average video is here in gray, and that was the particular Moodeng video. Now, the recent update published 1.5 months ago didn't perform that well. So does this mean that attention on Moodeng is declining over time? And could this be potentially bad for the price development? Let's try to find this out by looking at the on-chain metrics. So who's buying here, who's selling here? Because all the transactions on the Solana chain are 100% transparent. On-chain, we've got 77,000 holders. And especially 2 days ago, we saw a lot of new first-time traders entering the token. So this is the number of first-time traders per day. Most days we only have 100 to 200 new wallets that interact with the token. But on the 3rd of July, we saw 600 wallets. It appears as if over time, the small retail investor takes over more and more of the trading volume. On the left side, we see the trading volume in US dollars. On the right side, we see this normalized to 100%. And while the trading volume itself is not necessarily that high compared to the early days, compared to Q4 of 2024, we do see how more and more of that trading volume is now made up by wallets that have less than $1,000 worth of the token. Now, there's a very interesting disconnect that happened in May of this year. In May of this year, Moodeng rallied quite a bit. However, on-chain, we don't really see that demand. So again, this is Moodeng relative to Solana. And from the middle of April of this year to the middle of May, Moodeng rallied by more than 10x, an increase of more than 900%. But have a look at the number of retail investors versus whale investors over time. So to be counted for the chart on the left, a wallet has to hold at least 5,000 tokens. That's roughly $1,000 worth of the token. For the chart in the middle, it's 50,000 tokens. For the chart on the right, it's 500,000 tokens. So we see clearly that all wallet cohorts sold Moodeng over time and that nothing really happened in May of this year across all of those wallet cohorts. Yet the price made this massive 10x. How is that possible? I think it's because of short-term leverage in the price. Because Moodeng isn't even a trending token on the Solana chain anymore. Yes, there are 6 million worth of liquidity in a single pool, but only 1.5 million worth of trading volume. And that comes from less than 400 wallets that interacted with the token in the last 24 hours. Most trading volume nowadays happens on the centralized exchanges for Moodeng. That's led by Gate.io with 32 million. But on the perpetual futures market, we had more than 200 million of trading volume. And so really, this is where the price discovery now happens. It's a short-term speculation with leverage. It's short-term credit. It's not people that want to hold the token over the long term. It's the people that just want to get in very quickly and get out very quickly. And so there is a good chance that Moodeng will continue to rally for a bit because the funding rates on the token are now extremely negative. So the shorts have to pay the longs in order to bet on falling prices. The vast majority of perpetual futures traders are now betting on Moodeng to fall. And that could invite the market makers to go the way of maximum pain induction, to go the way of forced liquidations, to push up the price. Just have a look at how much the spot price is correlated with the open interest on the perpetual futures. As there's more bets on the price itself goes up. As there's less bets, the price tends to deflate. And currently we do have a lot of open interest increase, but not yet the price following suit. And so either the open interest comes back down because everybody gets forced liquidated, or the price shoots up, or it's a combination of both. 3 days ago, quite a few shorts had been liquidated. The last 2 days were a bit more modest, but this could change at a moment's notice. Now, I've talked about this several times on this channel. I don't just buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, but I also don't buy the small altcoins. Most altcoins tend to underperform Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana most of the time. Many people get burnt with altcoins all the time. And so I've talked about this before. I will not dive into this in too much detail this time, but I'm simply betting on relative valuations of altcoins continuing to go down because of all the token inflation, right? The early investors, they sell their tokens, etc. That depresses most altcoins long term, at least relative to the major cryptocurrencies, relative to Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana. Now, I'm making money with this pretty consistently. This is my return in the last 2 months, but I've made money with this approach for the last several years. And I was wondering, how can I actually make this work for as many people as possible? Because clearly this strategy does work. Most altcoins go down most of the time. This is the performance of the smaller altcoins in the last year. And so I was reading this book. You probably know him, Alex Hormozi, with $100 million offers. And what I got from this book is that it's probably best to make the offer in a way that, first of all, it's very low risk for everybody that tries it out, but also that success comes very, very quickly. And so I was thinking about this. How can I make the odds of winning so high that the majority of people that join have a winning trade from the get-go? And the answer to this is I'm simply sharing my favorite trade. Now, I've talked about the balancer and balancer relative to Ethereum all the time, etc. But this is actually not my favorite trade anymore. Instead, it is this one over here. Now, this is again a relative valuation bet. So we're not just buying an asset, we go long one thing, we go short another thing. But when we do both at the same time, we get this kind of return. And here's the reason why I like this trade so much. It has so little volatility, it goes up so constantly that the likelihood of losing here is extremely low. If you're holding this particular position for at least 7 days, you're very likely going to be in profit. And so here is my $100 million offer, or the offer that's so good that most people feel stupid not to accept it. Here's how it goes. You get into premium and you watch 2 videos. So that's in total roughly 1 hour of watch time. You then join Hyperliquid, which is a perpetual futures trading platform, the platform where I'm currently making my gains. Once you've watched the videos and you've joined the platform, you then get into the premium Telegram channels. So once you've joined those Telegram channels, I will get a notification and I will send you a personal video message. So in that video message, I will say your name, right? I will say, hello, ABC, welcome to premium, etc. I will then share what to do in the platform in order to get exactly this performance here. If then, after 1 week of holding that position, you are not in profit, then I will refund you the entire membership fee, so the 125 US dollars, and you can also keep the entire remainder of the month premium for free. So you can then binge watch all of those other videos as well. Now, there are periods where this position did not make gains in a 7-day time frame, but the odds are definitely in our favor. And if you're willing to diversify with a few other positions as well, which by the way, I share in premium as well, right? I share every single trade that I do, then the likelihood of winning is likely even higher. Just to summarize again, right? I'm not saying that you will join and you will instantly make money with whatever trade you're opening. The guarantee is only for this particular trade. If you open this trade after joining, after we've talked in Telegram, and you're not in profit with this particular trade, then you get the money back. So I hope this is a good offer. Feel free to check out Premium. The link should be here at the bottom right. Just click on that. It will lead you directly to the website. If it's the very first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish this regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube, or see you in Premium. Cheers.